Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a topic that's right at the heart of your AMC baccalaureate exam. And honestly, it's one of the biggest challenges of our modern world. We're going to explore community, identity, and this crucial idea of social cohesion. Basically, how do we all manage to build a society together? So, let's just start with this quote. It's pretty powerful, right? It really gets to the heart of what's at stake here. It's a reminder that building a strong, connected society isn't just some nice idea. When it fails, the consequences are very real, especially for the most vulnerable people. Let's dig into what that actually means for your exam.
Okay, so this whole topic fits perfectly into your AMC program. It's under the main theme, faire société, which means making a society. And our specific focus, or access, is unity and plurality. Unity and plurality. We're really looking at how societies manage to create social bonds when you have all this amazing diversity in culture, religion, and ethnicity.
To help us think this through, we're going to use this one big question as our guide. How can modern societies create unity while also celebrating and integrating all of their diversity, their plurality? This is exactly the kind of analytical question you should be asking yourself when you look at documents for your exam. It's like your compass.
So, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll unpack that tension between unity and plurality. Then we'll jump into two case studies, a very current crisis in Lesvos and a historical look at London. After that, we'll see how heritage can be a kind of social glue, and we'll wrap it all up with some concrete exam skills. You'll see this structure is a great model for your own analyses.
So, part one, unity versus plurality. Let's start by setting the scene and really understanding the central conflict, the challenge of making one cohesive society out of many different people.
You know, it's a real balancing act. On one hand, every society needs some kind of unity, right? Things like shared values, a sense of a common identity, that's what gives you social stability. But on the other hand, the reality is plurality. We live with diverse cultures, people have multiple identities, and all of that brings dynamic, exciting change. The big challenge is finding a way to have both without one canceling out the other.
All right, let's move from the theory to a real-world context. We're going to look at the Greek island of Lesvos. This is a place where social cohesion isn't just a topic for a textbook, it's an incredibly urgent, day-to-day reality. So get this, the island of Lesvos has had to host over 20,000 refugees. You can just imagine the immense pressure that puts on local resources, on schools, on everything. It really strains the social fabric of the community and, of course, creates a lot of tension.
But what's really interesting here is the solution that's been proposed. It's a whole strategy called living together. And the idea isn't just to give people a place to stay. It's about actively building connections. The plan focuses on creating shared housing and, this is key, shared job opportunities. The goal is to get refugees and locals working side by side, breaking down stereotypes and maybe, just maybe, starting to build a new shared heritage together.
Okay, so from that very immediate crisis, let's switch gears and take a more historical view. We're going to look at London's East End, a place that's been shaped not by one wave of migration, but by centuries of them.
Now, to really understand the East End, you need to know this word, palimpsest. It's a great piece of vocabulary. A palimpsest was originally an old manuscript, where the ink was scraped off so it could be used again. But you could always see faint traces of the old writing underneath. It's a fantastic metaphor for a city, a place where new cultures arrive and leave their mark, but the layers of history beneath are still visible.
And London's East End is a perfect example of this. For hundreds of years, it's been the first port of call for newcomers. You had French Huguenots arriving in the 17th century, bringing their silk-weaving skills. Then in the late 19th century, Jewish immigrants came, fleeing persecution, and they jumped right into the local textile trade. And in the 20th century, Bangladeshi immigrants did the same. Each group added a new layer, but they often built upon what was already there, especially in that fabric and clothing industry.
So, whether we're talking about a crisis situation like Lesvos or centuries of history in London, you have all these diverse communities. How do you find common ground? Well, this next section looks at a really powerful tool for that, cultural heritage.
This table does a great job of breaking down the different kinds of heritage we see in the documents. First, you have productive heritage, like the jewelers' workshops in Athens that keep old skills and economies alive. Then there's architectural heritage, like in Woltra, Poland, where old German buildings give the city its unique feel, even though the population is now Polish. And finally, you've got living heritage, things like religious festivals in South India that bring millions of people together in shared traditions. It's incredibly powerful stuff. And here's the crucial point. Protecting heritage isn't just about being nostalgic or creating tourist traps. It's an active, forward-looking strategy. It can be a huge part of regenerating a city, creating jobs, and providing that shared cultural anchor that gives everyone, all the local people, a sense of belonging.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together now and get really practical. We've talked about these big ideas, but how do you actually turn them into a fantastic analysis for your exam? Let's talk about your toolkit.
Listen, for both your written work and your oral exam, this three-step structure is your best friend. It's simple: idea, example, explanation. First, you state your point clearly. Second, you back it up with a specific example from one of the documents. And third, this is the most important part, you explain why that example matters and how it connects back to the big question. Master this, and your arguments will be so much stronger.
And of course, to express those great ideas, you need the right language. Make sure you're comfortable with these key academic terms. Using words like social cohesion, palimpsest, or urban regeneration with confidence shows the examiner that you really understand the topic on a deeper level.
All right, time to wrap things up. Let's go all the way back to the question we started with and see if we can build a clear answer based on everything we've looked at. So how do you build unity while embracing plurality? Well, our analysis shows it's definitely not about trying to erase everyone's differences. Instead, it's about actively, intentionally creating connections. You do that with inclusive strategies that create shared spaces and jobs, like the model for Lesbos. You do it by recognizing and valuing all the historical layers that make a place what it is, like that palimpsest idea in London. And you do it by investing in shared cultural heritage as that anchor for the whole community.
And I want to leave you with a final thought, a critical question to take with you. Who gets to decide which heritage is saved and which isn't? Whose stories become the official story of a community and whose get left out? Thinking about this pushes our discussion into other huge AMC themes like memory, power, and representation. It's a great reminder that making a society is never finished. It's always a work in progress. Keep that in mind and good luck with your prep.